Tonight, my session is going to be about group emails and group text messages as part of the three-part series that we do every once a month on a Tuesday night with the Apple iPhone, Apple iPad, and the Mac. So some of the questions I've gotten recently and for some time is how to create group text messages and how to create group emails. Now, as many of you know, Apple has redundancy on many of the things they do. There's 1, 2, or 3 different ways to do about everything. And the process they used to have on creating group emails was somewhat cumbersome unless you did it in the cloud. They've revised that with the new iOS 16 and have a really nice, easy procedure to create group emails. And I'll start off talking about those. So what I'm going to do is start sharing my screen and go to my iPhone. And I'll try and mirror it. Okay, it looks like it's up. That good, Brookie? You're muted, Brookie.
It's good.
Okay. So anyway, when we're in our phone and we want to create group emails, then what first thing I want to do is, let me open my settings here. We're going to go to my contacts. And right here is contacts. Let me get my share button up here. So here is my contacts right here. So I'm going to tap on that, tap on my contacts, and let me go back. Get rid of that, go back all the way to my contacts. Here's my contacts. And you see at the top of this page, it says lists. And that's what they call the group emails, is lists. So I'm going to tap on lists. And just for all your information, if you're trying to write this down at the end, after I get through here, I'm going to send everybody a copy of this through the procedure that you do to share stuff.
May I ask a question?
In Zoom. Pardon?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
I noticed you had a separate application for your contacts. Is that correct?
No.
No.
This is the basic contacts in your iPhone right here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's the same one.
I just would go to phone and then hit contacts. All right.
So anyway, once you get over onto this page with it says lists, first off, this needs to be something in the cloud. If you have other settings down here, you need to be doing it in the cloud. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a list, and I'm going to add it to the iCloud. And you notice here's several lists that I've got. And it put a new line here for me to type something in. What I'm going to type here is, I'm going to say book club. This could be your book club, your dinner club. Just whatever. And once you get that typed in, go down here and tap on done. And then you can see now I've added another one here called book club. And right now I've got no members in it, 0. So I'm going to tap on book club. And this screen will come up, no contacts. So I want to add some contacts. So I'm going to tap on add contacts. And then I'm in all my contacts here. And I'm just going to type up here. Instead of scrolling all over the place, I'll just type in the last name of somebody I want. I want Brooke Thomas to be in my book club. I want Janet Cartmel. And I want Pat Vaughn. All right, Pat, how do you spell it?
VAU.
There we go.
It's all right.
I always have trouble with that for some reason or
The older
other.
we get, the more those molecules drop off out of the ears.
Okay, so there I've got that. And now you can see, if I go back to my list, I've got my book club. Oops, it didn't grab it for some reason or other. Let me see what's going on here. Add contacts.
I think you need to close that, that window that's up in the middle.
What window?
Oh, never mind. It's just a different window. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to add contacts. I'm going to add Brookie. And then I'm going to add Janet. And then I'm going to add Pat.
Put in Patricia.
Is that what I had in there? It's not coming up for some reason. Okay, anyway, I can go ahead with the two of them here. So I've got these two here. And now I've got my book club with two names in it. I'll go back over to my list. And you can see my book club here has two names in it. Now, the thing you have to be careful with this is that you have to make sure that these contacts have an email in there. If you don't have the email in their contact, it won't work. So now I've got these two in here. So I'm going to go back to my email, open my email up, cancel this, cancel that. And I'm going to start a new email. And up here, I'm just going to start typing book. And there it is, my book club, right there. It's got two names in it. And I can tap on that, and it'll populate up here in the two who I'm sending this message to. And then I can go ahead and scroll and type in here test. And then my message. And once I hit the send button up here, then they will get that message. So instead of, if you got a dinner club or a book club with maybe 8 or 10 people in it, you don't want to have to go searching for those every time. And so you can just do this one time, set it up like this, and you're good to go. Okay,
Hey,
any
Joe.
questions on that?
Does it only work with Apple? Does it
No,
work with an Android?
this one will work with any email address.
Okay, thanks.
Now, when we get into messages, there is some differences. But right now with the email, I showed you how to create a new, as they call it, a list, and populate it with the names you want. Then go to your email and start a new email, and then type in this example, book, and it'll pop right up, and you don't have to search for all the names again. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Edith. How do you get rid of those lists if it becomes unneeded?
Okay, let's go back here and let me go back to my contacts. And then I've got my lists here. And if I didn't want that book club again, let me see what happens here. I'll swipe to the left, and you see the trash can pop up.
Yeah, I do.
And we'll just tap on it, and it'll verify that I want to delete the list called book club. And I'm going to say yes and delete it. And it's gone.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think I didn't put them in iCloud. I can't remember, but I had some lists and I can't get. Well, it was on the other phone. I don't think they're on this phone. I couldn't get rid of them. I mean, I'd take the names out and I'd try to delete the list and the name, and it stayed there forever.
Okay.
So I'll remember I have to do it in iCloud.
I think it'll do it on the, most of this stuff is also operates the same way in the iPad.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
So how would you, like if you had somebody you wanted to delete out of that, how would you edit
We would go up. I got one here. I'll use the one I call draft. And if you want to get rid of one of these, let me see. You long press on it.
uh-huh,
If I wanted to get rid of Sherry here, I'm going to long press on her name. And I get all these messages come up, and down at the bottom it says delete the contact. No. Remove from list.
okay.
You don't want to delete the contact, you just want
Right.
to remove it from that list.
Okay, gotcha.
So if I hit remove from list and remove from list, it's now gone.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
So now you know how to populate it and how to get rid of them and individuals or the whole group, whole list. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is sending group messages. A lot of times we want to send a similar message. It could be, again, your book club, it could be whatever, but you want to send a message out to several people. So let me go over here to my messages, and I'm going to find a message here that has been sent to more than one person. And I'll just use the one I created a little bit ago, or one I had created, and it says here, Brooke and Janet. Incidentally, just for y'all's information, those are my guinea pigs. Anytime, if they get emails from me, they don't know whether to read it or not, or whether I'm practicing. So anyway, I've got this one with Brookie and Janet here, and I'm going to tap on it. And when I do that, up at the top of your screen, you'll see it says 2 people. And I'm going to tap on those 2 people, and here they are. Now, it's going to Brookie and Janet. If I wanted to, I can change this name and photo. So I'm going to tap on that. And I'm just going to type in here, I'm going to tap on this. I'll type on CKCS, and then I'll say done. And now, anytime I wanted to go and send a message, I could just type in CKCS. And if there's 10 people in there, it would capture them all. So I've changed the name, and now I'll go say done to that. And now, if I tap on this again, you can see it is Central Kentucky Computer Society. I meant to abbreviate that, but it got away from me. So that's real easy to do. The thing you have to remember is with group messages, they have to be Apple in order to use this process. Now, so what happens if you have one that's not Apple? Well, let me show you here. Go back here and find one. Here's one at the top of my screen. It's got several names in it, and I'm going to tap on it. And it's got 8 people in it. And if I tap on the 8 people, it comes up here. You know, it doesn't give me the option to change the name of the group here, because one of these individuals is an Android. So anyway, it's I can't give it a name and draw it up that way. What I can do, though, is I can pin it. And that's what I've done here. This has been pinned. And let me show you what I mean by pinning. I'll get down here to this one here, Joe and Margaret. And I'll long press on it. And then I get some things I can do down here. One is pin. I'll tap on pin. And then I'll go back to my messages again. Let me get rid of some of this debris. And now I've got another one up here, another one that's been pinned. So I've got all those names here. These are all Apple. And this one has an Android in it. So the basic difference is I can't give the group a name if it's got an Android in it, but you can still pin it to your top of your screen so you have it all there together. Okay. Now, sometimes we get in group messages, and I've got a friend of mine who finds something in a magazine, and he said he'll send it out to 15 people under one message. And so I get it, and then I get a response and another response, and I don't want to hear all that. So how do we get out of that? So what I'm going to do here is I'll go to this one. It's 2 people. I'll tap on the name and I'll scroll up, and I've got down here options, hide alerts, that'll silence it. Or if there's several people in there and you want to leave that conversation, you can just leave it and it won't send you any messages at all. So that's always been a major issue with me, because I get some stuff I really don't want to hear everybody's opinion about.
But Joe, that's grayed out. Would that come up?
It's usually not grayed out. Let me see if I go to a different one.
Okay.
It depends a little bit on what's going on. Like this one, which has an Android in it, is doesn't give me that option. It just gives me the option of hiding alerts, because it can't
Okay.
talk to that Android. Let me go out here and find another one. Let's see, that's got an Android in it.
Why don't you go to Janet and mine book club? Oh, you don't have it anymore. Never mind.
It got lost.
You deleted it.
Oh, I did? Okay. That would do it. Okay, here's one. Let me see what this one says. And, well, it may be because it's only 2 people.
Oh,
It may have to have more than that. I know there's some down here, but I just don't know where they are. Okay, here's one with 4 people, and it gives me, they're all Apple, and it gives me the option of leading the conversation.
right.
So anyway, either way will work to some extent. It just depends on what you want to do with it.
Right, so you can hide alerts. Does that mean that it won't?
It won't beep.
It
It
won't
won't.
be.
Yeah, it won't
Okay.
squall at you.
But the notes will still come through, the messages.
Yes,
Okay,
it'll still be in your message stream.
right.
Okay.
So if you separated, it wouldn't do any good necessarily to separate out. Say you had say 6, 2 of which were Android and 4 were Apple. Could you put those 4 into one like you did, Joe? And
You
Mark
could do
did?
that.
And then take those, then the option would come up to leave conversation.
I think you could do that. It sounds to me like it's getting a little complicated. Probably what I would do is make them all in one, send one message to all of them, and then pin that message to the top of the screen and deal with it.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay, the
thank
next
you.
thing, I did want to mention one other thing. We get a lot of messages, and they do take up a little space on your phone. So how do we get rid of some of those? If you choose to, I don't do it. I've got a lot of room on my phone, and I don't see any real reason to go back and delete them. And occasionally I want to go back and find something that somebody said they sent me, and I couldn't find it, but I can find it there sometimes. In order to do this, we're going to go to settings. We'll tap on settings, and then we'll go scroll until we find messages. And here it is right here. So we'll tap on messages, and we'll scroll until we find where it says keep messages. And I've got mine forever. If you feel like you want to get rid of them, you can tell your machine, your device, your phone, or your iPad, get rid of them after 1 year or after 30 days. And those are just operator options that you may or may not want to utilize. Okay. And let's see. I guess that's all I've got on this, and I will put a copy of this in the chat, and you all can capture it a little bit later. Let me go ahead and make the chat come up here.
Joe, were you
Right.
going to do anything with Apple Maps?
No,
No. Okay.
that was last couple times.
Okay.
Oops.
That forever business, could that be emails as well as messages?
No. Emails you have to do individually, and it can be quite a nuisance. You can either do them all at once or individually. And usually what I do if I want to get rid of some of them, I'll go in there and open a screen that's got several of them and say edit, and then fill in the circle with the check mark and then hit delete. It's cumbersome, but it works. Anyway, I've sent this all things Apple SIG dated today to everybody. You can get it through your chat. And once you get to chat, you can download it by clicking on it. Okay, Brookie, that's all I've got.